Yo, what's going on everyone? Z-Karma here, back with another Outriders video. In this one, we will be going over the Trickster class. In this video, I'll be going over the Trickster's abilities, passive skills, and the skill trees. Basically doing a full breakdown with what's available in the demo. So if you found this video helpful in any way, a like rating is appreciated, and if you want to sub for more content, that will be great as well. So let's go ahead and read the description first. Trickster is for close range, hit and run, bend the laws of space and time to appear out of nowhere, assassinate your enemies, and return to safety in the blink of an eye. As a Trickster, each enemy you kill at close range will heal you and grant a portion of shield. So already we can see a huge benefit of running this class. This will be for players that like to run and gun up in your face type of playstyle. I found that using automatic shotguns with this class actually work really well. Now let's go over the abilities that are available for this class. So first, you need to be aware of the melee skill that you already have. This one will do a little bit of damage and it will stun and slow down enemies. If you sprint towards enemies and activate it, you will instead create a ground slam that will do the same thing, slow down and stun enemies. Now for the skills. The first one we need to go over is Temporal Blade. This one slices enemies and slows them down. It deals 331 damage, and as of this moment, it will basically one-shot all normal enemies in this game. The only enemies that actually survive this are the big shielded enemies and of course the bosses. You can hit multiple enemies at once with this skill, and I highly recommend you use it in mobs of enemies. There's also bonuses that you can get from armor pieces. For example, this guy is selling these pants that increase the Temporal Blade's damage by 44. As we progress through the game and armor reaches higher levels, of course, all of the armor bonuses for the skills will be much higher than just 44. So it's very important that whenever you equip your armor, you don't only look at the armor value, you also look at the bonuses you're getting because you want to match those with the skills you're currently using. Next up, we have Slow Trap. This one will create a bubble that slows down enemies and projectiles for 10 seconds. It is both a good defensive and offensive skill. If you're low on health, you can simply activate it, and every slowed enemy, you can kill them and regen your health from getting those kills up close. There's also bonuses that you can get from clothing armor, just like before. For example, these pants have the Thunderdome skill, receive 100% shield when the skill ends. So basically whenever it ends, I get 100% shield, so that's freaking amazing. Then I also have these gloves, which increase the sphere's range by 1 meters. The sphere's already pretty big, this is only going to make it bigger. And for the boots, I have Weakening Zone. Enemies entering the sphere are afflicted with weakness. And just so you know, these aren't all the bonuses that you can get, but in a separate video, I will be covering every single bonus for every single skill available. Next up, we have Hunt the Prey. This one allows you to teleport behind enemies, and this one is very useful since this class is all about being up in people's faces. You don't want to run straight at enemies to get close because you'll be vulnerable. You can use this to teleport towards a group of enemies, then you can activate your other skills that will help you take care of them, and of course, this one will also have armor bonuses that will make it stronger, which I will cover, like I said, all of them in a separate video. And finally, for the last one available in the demo, we have Twisted Rounds, and this one is by far my favorite as it can make your weapons very strong. This one will make your weapon's current magazine deal increased damage as it will create anomaly infused bullets. Keep in mind that you can activate this at any time and it will end once you reload or if you switch weapons. This is incredibly strong, especially when paired with already strong weapons, and in my case, I actually have some armor pieces that make this even stronger. For example, this one has Twisted Fate. Receive 30% critical damage bonus while this skill is active. There's also another one that I scrapped that increases firepower instead, so if you're not going for critical hits, you can simply get that one. And then I also have this one, receive 30% resistance piercing bonus while this skill is active. This just means that I can penetrate through the enemy's resistances. And this skill is extremely strong. As you see by the gameplay, whenever I activate it, I absolutely destroy these enemies. Last thing I want to cover is the skill trees. If you go into your inventory and then click over here on class, you'll end up here. As you can see, there's 3 linear pathways. And within each pathway, there's also extensions to the other tree. So for example, you can go down this tree, and then if you want to get a little bit of this tree without having to pick these skills, you can simply go down through here and end up over here. So let's just go over what each one is. So Assassin will focus on weapon damage, critical damage, armor piercing, basically all about damage here if you go straight through. The Harbinger will focus on health and shield regen, and the Reaver path will focus on anomaly damage and lifesteal. And then along the way, as you go through each of these paths, whatever you want to pick, you have these skills that extend these bigger circles or different type of skills. So for example, we can go over this one. Activating movement skills increases your armor piercing by 15% for 10 seconds. So what this means, a movement skill, for example, is a skill that we use to teleport behind enemies. Whenever you activate it, you get an increase to your armor piercing by 15%. Then you can also take a look at this one over here. Shotgun Master. If you're like me and love being in people's faces with this class with shotguns, this one's really going to help you out. There's a lot of really decent skills here, so make sure that you take a look at them before you make your path over there. Maybe you prefer getting some health and then going down here to grab this skill instead of going through the anomaly damage. It's completely up to you. Now I really want to take a look at the capstone skills. So for example, this one says Cold Calculation. For each enemy in close range, your weapon damage is increased by 8%. So it's going to be really interesting once the game comes out. See if it's effective, if it even works. It's going to be hard to know how far the enemies have to be from you. This one has Disruption Shield. Every activation of Deception skills grant you 20% shield. And then this one says Altered Executioner. For each enemy in close range, your anomaly powered is increased by 10%. So this one will increase your damage whenever enemies are close, and for this one increases your anomaly damage whenever enemies are close. And that's basically all I wanted to cover for today. This is by far my favorite class. Let me know what you all think about this, and if you want to see videos like this for every other class, please let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, a like rating is greatly appreciated, and if you want to sub for more content, that'll be great as well. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.